Hey everybody, today's a really fun build. I'm talking about the Death Star hallway basic door. Now it's the same door that you see Luke and Leia standing when they're doing the chasm, and it's also, you'll notice it in the movie set when Darth Vader is asking the TIE fighters to come with him when they're getting ready to go in the trench and stuff. There's a revamp or a redress of the hallway that's used where there's a series of these, maybe I think it's 5 or 6 that line the hallway. So this is the accessory build that you would be using if you wanted to recreate that scene as well. So it's an easy build. It takes a little bit of time because of the curves and stuff like that, but I think you're going to have a lot of fun. My name is Frank Diorio and you're watching DioramaWorkshop.com. Okay, here's everything you need to build your Death Star hallway basic door. You need the Death Star hallway basic door decals and the hallway basic door blueprints, both available on the website. You need a black foam core preferred. If you don't have black, white is fine, but black works better. Black poster board. It's a little thicker than paper and allows you to curve easily around your foam core shapes. Hot glue refill. X-Acto blade, X-Acto knife with the X-Acto blade refills, a glue stick, pencil sharpener, black sharpie, an X-Acto pen knife, X-Acto pointy pen knife refills, some scissors, a ruler, and last but not least some glossy black vinyl. I like to use the DC Fix brand. It's available on Amazon, and it does the perfect job for your Death Star floors. In order to find your free blueprints and decals, go to my website, DioramaWorkshop.com. Go to Tutorials, Speed Index, scroll all the way down until you find the build that you want to do. In this case, Death Star hallway basic doors deluxe. Click on decals. Scroll down until you see the PDF icon. Click on this. Save and print. For the blueprints, again, Death Star hallway basic door deluxe. Click on blueprint this time. Scroll all the way down until you find the Death Star hallway basic door blueprint PDF icon. Click on that, save to your desktop, and print. Okay, the first foam core cuts we want to make is for the ceiling, 10.75 centimeters or 10 3/4 and 5 centimeters wide, and 2 times 15 centimeters by 5 centimeters for the side left and right of your inner door frame. Since the common dimension of both of these pieces is 5 centimeters, let's do a strip of that and then we'll measure the other ones after. So let's start with 5 centimeters over here and 5 centimeters on the other side. Use your ruler to connect your markings. Draw a straight line. Now we want 15 centimeters 2 times over here, which would be 30. So we're going to need a second piece for the ceiling. So I'll do another 5 centimeter here, and then another 5 here. Align those two. So 15 is here, and then the other 15 is here. This brings us to 30. And then let's cut this, measure this here. Hold on, not cut. Cutting is after. Trace first, Frank. Okay, over here, 15. 30. Okay, and that's the marking of your 0. Now, the small ceiling piece is 10.75. So you can always cut 11 and then trim it after, but let's do that. I'm going to measure 11 over here, and then 11 over here. Mark that. Now connect your markings over here. This is the 2 for that. Here is my 11 piece over here. And then this is the top piece. Okay, grab your X-Acto. Align your ruler with your first line there. Cut that off. Remember, don't angle. Try to put your X-Acto blade extended and as flat as you can to get a larger surface cut. You'll get a cleaner cut than having a small blade and just acting on the pointy part. Okay? Slice that. Let's align this. Cut along that. Trim off these little pieces. 1, 2. The first thing you want to do when you're doing your door frames is you want to take your decals and we're going to apply it to the foam core first, and then we'll cut it out so that we get a really precise inside and outside edge. When you cut, you want to cut inside the bleed areas, which is the zone between the actual color of the wall and the white. So that way, when you do your cut, if you're not cutting exactly precise, then you're not going to have like a white edge all the way around. You're going to have the bleed color, which will blend in with the black foam core a lot better. If you notice on your decal, this one also contains these red cutting guidelines. What you'll be doing is you'll be aligning your rulers at the top and bottom with these red lines, and it'll give you an exact perfect cut that'll go along the outside edge here. So find a piece of foam core that's big enough to allow you to apply your whole page sticker sheet onto it. If you're not using peel back stickers, you can just use your glue stick to place all over the side here and then apply your door frames afterwards. Never ever use hot glue when you're applying stickers. It's going to cause heat bubbles, it's going to warp the paper, it's going to make bumps, it's going to be a hot mess. Never ever do that. Always glue stick or sticky sheets. Start peeling your decal here. Bend like this your sheet so that you just have a little center surface touching first, and then let it go. Well, make sure first that you're aligned properly. Lift it. I'm still not touching it. I'm lifting it about an inch or so off the ground so I could center it properly so I don't have the sticker go outside the sheet, which would be disastrous. So I have enough space here, so bend it again, let it go down, and then let it fall on its own. Put some pressure here, and then move center out, center out, center out, center, center out like this. And then here the same thing, center, center out, center out, center out. This way you're preventing bubbles. It's going to be a lot easier to have a clean surface. Okay, these two frames will form one door. Align your red guidelines, lay it low, then go to cut. You can do 2-3 passes if you want to make sure that you're going to get all the way through. Some foam core brands are actually stronger than others in terms of the styrofoam that they use between the papers, and you have to do multi-passes on some of them. Okay, now I'm going to align these two red guidelines, and I'm going to again cut here, Now these red guidelines are only to cut the outside of your door frame. In order to cut the inside, you're going to use the bleed. And we're also going to switch knife because of the curves. If you want, you can pop this one out for the moment, put it aside. There we go. Cutting the inside of your door frame is kind of tricky because of the rounded corners, and you want to try to do it in not necessarily one clean pass, but you want it to, the edges to be as clean as possible, because we want to recycle the inside piece here to put our actual door sticker on this so that it'll fit exactly 100% like a glove inside your frame, since it's the same inside that was matching the outside. So for these long pieces, you can use your regular knife with the ruler in order to get the best clean straight line possible, and then we'll move to the pen for the corners. So again, a trick that I had showed you in another video, since we have to cut here along the bleed, if I put my ruler, you'll see that the ruler doesn't have any support over here, and so it'll just like bounce all over the place. So you want to take a scrap of foam core, align it with the piece that you're cutting, so that now your ruler is leaning on the other piece of foam core as well, and it's like much more stable. You can't wiggle it side to side the way that you can over here. So you're going to align with the bleed, press down really firmly on your ruler so that this doesn't jiggle and wiggle its way out as you cut. Start a little bit past where the curve ends, and we're going to stop just before the curve starts. So we're just going to poke down. Oh, see how I'm not putting enough pressure and it's making my whole foam core door slide with the X-Acto. So I want to put more pressure on the edges there. Watch out, don't slice your fingers. You make multiple passes if you have to. So one like this, again. Don't feel like you have to go and start curving around. Just stop short of each of the bends over here. Let's align the bleed for this one. Let me cut in this direction so you get a better angle of the bleed there. Here's my regular color, there's the bleed. I'm aligning just a little bit into the bleed. Okay, I'm making sure that my ruler is still straight with the white. Pressing down strong. And then I start to cut a little bit after the curve here. And then stop about here. So just a couple of passes like that. Now I'm switching to my pen knife, and I'm going to be starting by poking it where I stopped with the other blade, and I'm going to be carefully going around here in the bleed and then matching up with the start of the other line. Okay? First thing I want to do is change the blade, so I'm going to unscrew this, pull this out, put a fresh blade in. Don't cut yourself, very sharp, very pointy. Screw this back in. Old blade inside the recycling plate. Just like that. Place your door frame in a position that's comfortable for you to turn your wrist without it starting to feel weird. You don't want to have it positioned where you're going to be turning and then all of a sudden your wrist has to go like this, or that you have to start with it all weird position like that. You want to feel it as a natural movement. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to do it in multiple passes. So I'm going to start like this, try to keep it as centered as possible and making a nice round. It's not easy. It takes practice, and sometimes the result is good, sometimes it's not as good. Try to keep your blade also straight like this when you're cutting. Try not to angle it sideways, because then your door frame, instead of being looking at a 90-degree angle like a regular door frame, you're going to be having slants in it, which you don't want. So again, start where you left off, and then slowly inch your way towards the cutting board. You'll be able to see if the cut went all the way through. Compared to here, see, it hasn't gone through yet because it's just the two straight lines. Next curve, place it at the stop of the first line, top line. Carefully turn it slowly in the bleed. Try to keep your hand steady and then match with the other line. Like this. Okay, I have my two tops done. Now I have to do the two bottom. For the bottom sides, you'll see that compared to the top, you have the floor space here, which means that when you go to do your curve, you're not going to necessarily be joining with a straight line here because there is none. So you're just going to do your curve, stop a little bit past the decal, where the decal is, and then we'll just trim it off with a straight line at the end. Turn like this along the bleed. And carefully go around like this. And then match up with your straight line. So, turn. Match up. Carefully, oops, cut that over here, and then the same thing. This one already came out, so I'm able to poke the center door out. Okay, now don't throw this away. We're going to keep this for later. Now you have your door frame. Trim off all of the little imperfections there that you have. So this is one piece. Okay, now there's a bit of white that you see on that, and so we're going to want to trim that. So carefully put your knife like this and then just chop that off. Now the reason I want you to keep the centerpiece is because once you put your door decal, because we cut it out from this frame, when you're going to go to insert your door inside, see, it'll be like a puzzle and it'll fit exactly back where it's supposed to. Okay, let's move on to the other side of the frame. Align the bleed. Multipass. Align. Cut. Go. Okay, curve number 2. Turn. Connect with your straight cut. Oh, this is a nice curve, this one. Start here. Turn. Connect. Spin, and then connect with your straight line. This gave me a harder time, this one. Now switching from foam core to your poster board, we're going to need one time for your frame floor, 12 by 6. If you want to put a ceiling top, you can cut 2 of these, but you only need 1. And then 6 centimeters by 5 centimeters, you need 4 of these in order to do your frame corners. The reason you want to switch from foam core to poster board is because this is a lot easier to bend, and because of your door frames are rounded, you're going to be using this to curve inside those corners, and it'll allow you to apply your decals exactly like you see in the movie. Okay, the most common measurement is 6 centimeters, so we're going to start by creating strips of that. So let's measure 6 centimeters over here on one end, and 6 centimeters at this end. Let's connect our guidelines all the way through. I want to measure 12 centimeters for the floor. Draw a line between the two. What I'm going to be wanting to do is 4 pieces of 5, which is 20. Place here, then at 5, 10, 15, and my 20 is already done. 0, 5, 10, 15. Align your pieces, cut that out. This is the first one, cut that, 12 over here, connect this. Okay, that's our 12. Now we want 6 and 6. We're going to cut 2 pieces, one to use right away and one that you're going to use after. So 1 and 6. I know the blueprints say to only cut 1, but you should cut 2 of these as we're doing now. So 1, so 6 and 12. Good. Slice this off. Align with the markings over here. Slice this. Align over here. Cut that. Okay. We have one little item left to cut on the blueprint, which is the floor tile. It's made of black gloss vinyl. The brand I use is DC Fix. You can find it online. My 6 centimeters is there, so I'll use this as my cutting guide. This will be my guide here. And then I need 6, I said, and then 7. So 7 centimeters would be 7 squares actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here and here. Like so. Put this aside for later. Now I'm going to cut till the 4 over here. Press down, then I'm going to go this way to the 10. This will be our glossy floor. So here are the cuts that you should have so far. In foam core, you should have the top, the left, and the right, the 2 frames, including the cutout centers over here, and then poster board, 4 pieces for your corners, and your floor base over here, and a small piece of DC Fix super black glossy. So if you look at your blueprints alignment here, this is exact. Oh, look what happened, the wind. This is what you get when you assemble the pieces. Come on, you little thing. You'll get your sides and you'll get your ceiling, which is lowered from the top, and then this area matches exactly the inside of your frames. When you're going to apply your side piece to the side frame here, you also want to make sure not only is it flush with the inside of the frame, but you want to make sure that you're aligned perfectly at the top and bottom here. I've been gluing this and thinking I was filming it for the last 10 minutes, and my camera was actually on standby instead of filming, and so I went to check and nothing was filmed. So let me try to explain to you what I did and the steps that you'll have to do. So in order to get to this part that we're here now, what you do is that you take one of your side pieces and you apply a light line of hot glue, okay? And then you take your frame like this. This is the other side that I haven't applied. So you take your piece like this, put a line of hot glue, and then align it with the bottom and top, and then slowly, carefully place it, okay? Making sure that everything is flush at the center here of your frame, right? Which would be this part. So you're connected perfectly like this at the top and aligned perfectly at the bottom, and you're flush here on the inside part. There's a slight gap over here. I don't know if you could see that. You see this? Because your thickness of this frame here is a little bit thicker than the actual thickness of the foam core. So that's why you have that little gap here. And you want this gap to be on the outside of your door, not on the inside. So once that dried, repeat it on the other side. Take your other piece, another line of hot glue on it. Then I placed it on it, aligning it with the top, aligning it with the bottom, and making sure that this one as well was flush on the inside, okay? So now I see that it's recording. I know it's recording this time, and we're at the part where I thought I was 15 minutes ago, which is placing this ceiling piece. Do a dry run first, slide, push all the way in. If you see that it won't go in because it's just a little bit too wide because of these two pieces being inside of the thickness, that can happen. Take one side of your ceiling piece, lean it against the inside of one of the walls, and then with your pencil mark where the other inside touches your ceiling piece, which is about here. Which means I have to trim this little piece off for it to fit perfectly before I glue it. It's better to trim tiny piece and then do another dry run to see if it still doesn't fit, then trim a bit more. If you trim too much at first, then it'll be loose and you don't want that. So now it's still a little bit tight, so I'm gonna trim another little tiny piece off. Just enough for it to slide in properly. There. Now it goes perfect. Excellent. See, I could slide it in and out with ease now. Put a line of glue only on the front, okay? Not on the sides. We'll deal with that later. Slide it and then make sure that you're flush with your ceiling, okay? So I'm doing this here like that. Now before we glue the sides, we have to put the other frame on this side, and since this can wiggle up and down, right, we'll be able to make sure that it adjusts perfectly the way that we did here by not gluing this and this yet, okay? We can deal with that at the end. When both pieces are in, we have access at the top here, and we'll be able to just put the glue directly on the sides. Let's do this side first, okay? Put a small line of hot glue along this, Okay? All the way from top to bottom. Now take your frame, place it carefully, okay? Make sure that it reaches the top and it reaches the bottom perfectly. And you could even stand it up like this if you want to make sure that it's nice and flat. And then, most important, flush here along the sides, okay? When this side is dry, we can lift here and apply some glue only on this edge, okay? Not here, not here, only on the side edge over here. All the way across, like that. Carefully. Make sure you're aligned here properly, as well as at the bottom, okay? And make sure that here you are flush. So if you need to, push this down a little bit, that little tiny groove, so that you get nice and flush here. See, this is not attached yet. Align here, okay, so that it's flush. Take your fingers here and you're going to press really hard with your thumb, okay, to make sure that this isn't going anywhere. Then you're going to flip this around, okay? Now this is the side that needs gluing, which means that when I flip it around, it's this side, right? So I'm going to tilt the shape like this so that when I put some glue, the glue will slide down in gravity into the little V shape here. So just a little bead of glue there, a little bead of glue. Keep the pressure on for about a minute, minute and a half. Once your front glue has cooled down, then we can put the same kind of little blobby on each ends here to secure the sides in place. Tilt it, put a little blob of glue like this in each corner. Actually, I put 3. The same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3. Be patient for another minute. So your Death Star Hallways basic door decal kit comes with these 6 pages. Now they come in 3 variations. You have the A style, which is the panels on the left. B style has control panels on the right, and C style has control panels on both sides. In the movie, the most used one is the A style, the control panels on the left side and full neons on the right side. This part will go on your ceiling, and these are used for your folding guides. If you want to cheat and not have to go through cutting all of these frames like this, and just have a closed door effect on a faraway wall, you can print page 5 and then just apply this one sticker, and it gives you the faux illusion that the door is already closed with the shadow and it has a 3D effect. Since we made the door frames, we're going to be using the page 6 full door decals. This is what you're going to be applying on the centerpieces that you cut out earlier. Then your shape will fit perfectly inside your frame, and it'll give you a nice clean door, but recessed just like in the movie. When you use the red cutting guides to cut your decals, when you're cutting the top and the bottom lines, don't cut all the way through the paper, because if you do so, you're going to chop off your vertical guides and then you won't know where the alignment is supposed to be to cut off your left and right side. So what you want to do is start somewhere outside of the decal but inside of your page, and then you'll go across and then you'll stop just approximately where my name is, and before you go outside the page but past your guideline where the actual door sticker is. So I'm going to do one pass like this, another pass, because I'm using sticky label sheets. It's a bit thicker with the wax paper. Turn it around, adjust your guides, then cut again, short of the outside, stop about here. cut, and stop. Press down firmly, cut. Align your red guides, press down firmly, and cut. This door can come off. Trim that off. We have our two clean doors. Just outside the decal. Some of these are detail lines. You don't want to cut those. Cut only where the red guides are. Slice that. See this guide, I put it just perfect so that you can cut the two stickers at the same time. Cut from here and stop there. Align the guide. I'm still doing my verticals there. So now I align over here. Cut here, stop. Cut here, stop. Flip this around. And then this will be the last cut for the verticals. Cut, stop, cut, stop. Okay, now we can go in the other direction and trim these out. First, this is the fold only line. Do not cut this line over here where it goes from dark to normal color. Your cutting guide is the red lines again. Cut one piece. Align. Align the reds. Cut that. Cut our piece. Here you'll notice that the bleed is on this side and here, and that on the center section, the bleed, there is none. So it's okay to cut through this slice here. You don't have to cut the bleed, then go around, up, across, and down, and then continue on the bleed. The reason that it's done like this is that the tops and bottoms of your side decals, they will merge with the ceilings and you want them to blend together. So align these red, press hard, cut all the way across. Align your red, cut all the way across. Okay. Align your red cutting guides. Slice. Your sheet is all done. You can throw this away. Now if you used my decals before, you know what this is. It's time for the Sharpie black edge treatment. What you want to do is you want to hold your decal facing the side that you hold your fingers, and then you want to use the side of your Sharpie, not the tip like this. You want to use the side, and you're going to just go along the edges, right? And you're going to make the thickness of the paper dark so that it'll fit better and blend with the black foam core. Do you see the difference when it's dark and when it's light? And how it just disappears and blends like that? So you want to do this all the way around on all sides. Same thing on your doors. Your ceiling piece is the one that has the 13 neons, okay? So you want to go along the edge of that. Do this side. Over here. For these centerpieces, this is where it's a little bit different. On both sides you want to put the black, but on the ends, do you see where you have a black edge already here in the decal, which is sort of like the embossing effect, and on this side of the neons too. But this centerpiece, where the door is actually the thickness of the door where it slides, this here, okay, this, you don't put a black over here because you want this little zone to blend with the ceiling. Do not put any black on this little centimeter zone here. Black here only, black here only. Same thing on the other side, okay? Black here only, no black. Black here only. Same thing on this side. Black here only, no black, black. Flip it. Black here, no black, black. Black, no black, black. Now, before you put your stickers on, the last place you want to use your Sharpie is all the way inside of these cut door frames. You're going to just align your pencil or your Sharpie pen, and you're going to just trace along, and it's going to accentuate that bleed. Use the sides of your Sharpie, not the tips. Just go all the way around. The last pieces you want to Sharpie are your little corner edges here. White edge, black edge. It does make a huge difference. Let's darken all of those. This is the piece that goes underneath your door, so we want to darken that as well. My eyesight seems to be getting worse and worse as you get old. That's what's bad. I change glass prescriptions every couple of years. I think I'm in need to change again. Okay, darken your second piece. Though this one you're going to be trimming off after, so you don't really need to put the black on this one, so I'll put it anyway since I started, but you don't really need it. This will end up in the trash after, when you put the decals on the feet. This is just to allow you to put the round corners on the insides of your frame. Okay, 2 pieces done. At this point you should have the Sharpie black around all of your shapes. The door frames on both sides, your door stickers, the base stickers, the side stickers, the ceiling stickers, and then your 4 corner pieces. So now we're ready to start applying. From this step on, we're using only your glue stick. Don't use hot glue to apply the decals and your poster boards because you'll get a hot mess. So your poster board floor here is going to go underneath your frame just like this, okay? And the reason that we use poster board instead of foam core is because when you look at the movie, these little floor arches, these curves here on the bottom, they curve straight onto the floor. So by having this being flat, when you're going to lay your door on your hallway, it'll blend with your floor surface and it'll look perfect. If we would have used foam core, you'd have this big ugly thickness sitting on your hallway and it would have destroyed the illusion that we're trying to get. See here, it's a nice, clean, smooth surface for your cardboard or your foam board, okay? Or poster board, I should say. It took me 3 times, but I got it. Grab a 5 centimeter wide piece here place it inside. Align the piece here, your cutting guide, with your flush sides here. This little thing here, that's what I'm going to cut off, okay? Extend your blade as much as you can. Make sure to keep it straight, don't angle it. Place the blade against the underside of the feet there, okay? And then I'm just going to trim off this excess, like this. It's almost nothing, but it will make a difference when you apply your foam core there. Not the foam core, the poster board. This is what I trimmed off. This small, thin little piece. And now this is really exactly flush, just like on the other side over here. Okay, I'm ready to apply my floor to these four corners like this, okay? So we're going to start with one side because we kind of have to play this. These are like your feet. Sometimes your feet, some people have feet that are pointy in, some people have pointy out. So we want to play with this, see, like this, so that it goes align exactly with your board when you're going to be placing it over like that. Some glue stick at the bottom. Then I'll apply this. Now glue stick takes longer to dry than hot glue, so we have to be a little bit more patient in between steps here. I didn't put it on the list before, but if you want to use Scotch tape, you can at this point in order to secure the corners as it dries. So let's do that, okay? So just a small piece like this, and then we'll apply it. Oh, I have cat hair on this one. Let's put that aside. Take a fresh piece with no cat hair, okay, and then go to the edge like this, and then press down, and then you're going to pull around like this, okay? Then do the same thing on the other side. Put a little piece over here. And then pull. And apply. Okay? Once this side is dry, you want to lift this in order to put your glue stick on this end now. I'm going to lift, apply some glue on the feet, bottom of the feet, and on the side here. And then I'm going to push this down. Now to align it perfectly, okay, you can place it this way so that you want to make sure that this is flat against the table. You don't want this to glue and then this have like a bubble. Put some more Scotch tape here as it dries. So let's just let that dry. Go watch a bit of TV or another, well, I'm gonna say, I was gonna say watch another YouTube video, but stay on this one to see the end. At the moment, the inside is 90 degrees. What we want to do is turn this 90 degrees into the same curve that you see on the outside. So take one of your 6 by 5 centimeter rectangles and you're going to apply your glue stick all over the back here. Once you have glue all over, you're going to grab it. You want to align it, okay, so that it's flush, it comes flush to the edges. And what you're going to do now is you're going to take your finger and you're going to press down until your little poster board connects with your curve here on both sides. You don't want a gap like this. You want to press it down so that it's nice and clean against the edge. Make sure that it's rounded with your edge over here, that it touches the side base here like that, and that it's aligned over here on this edge of your floor base. You might end up with a little excess poking out here. We'll be able to trim that with your X-Acto blade in the end. Grab another piece, your little poster board corner, put glue stick all the way around, place it in the corner, use your finger, and then you're going to bend along the curve. Put some pressure on your thumb to make sure that it follows the curve, okay? You want it flat along the inside over here, flat against the floor here, and then just following the curve on both sides. We want to do the same thing on the two top corners. Some glue stick all the way across your piece here. Lay it 45 degrees like this. Press down until you make contact with your edges. One last corner. Your glue stick. A trick to get it off your little paper is you could tap it and then it'll stick to the glue stick like this, and then it allows you to grab it and peel it off like that. Place your last piece like this, align it, then press it down a little bit. Use your index finger, press, or you could use both thumbs as well. As long as you fit that curve properly. Okay, our corners are inserted. Now we just have to let the glue stick do its magic and dry maybe another 2-3 minutes before we move on to the trimming. Okay, for this next step I want to take a new blade, so I'm going to remove this, place it inside my little protector. Make sure not to cut yourself when you change blades. Okay, it's very fragile, this step, so you want to make sure you have a new clean cut blade, not a braid, a blade. And what we're going to do is, because you glued towards or against the frame, we don't want to slice by pushing it away from the frame. My God, it's like a tongue twister. You don't want to push it away from the frame because you risk having the cardboard tear away, because it would be like pulling a band-aid, right? So you want to be taking your knife and placing it flush like this against your frame without angling it. If you angle it, you risk cutting into your decal, which you don't want. What you're going to want to do is you want to place it flush like this, and you're going to bring it forward, or backwards I should say, towards you as you move it forward, okay? And it's going to take you 3-4 times to do it. You just let the blade work its magic, okay? So you just go like this. You have to start it like that, see? 1, 2, go slowly, 3. See how it works its magic? It does its little curly cue, okay? And then 4, and then 5, maybe 6. There we go. Now we have fresh poster board exposed, which will show you again what I explained before. Do you see how when you do the Sharpie trick, you get a nice clean black edge, and if you didn't do that, you'd have a white edge all the way around like this. So let's do all the cuts and then we'll revisit the Sharpies. Press, oops, down like that. I'm not putting any pressure except for pulling it towards me. This one slight excess. Let's see if we can trim that as well. Because you're dealing with the bottom, which is the poster board, I suggest that you take a scrap piece of foam core like this and just use it to place at the bottom, so that when you're moving your foam core, you're actually putting the pressure on that instead. Oh, my glue stick undid itself. I'll have to reapply. See, it came off. Oh no, it's back stuck. It hadn't dried completely. That's the thing, with the glue stick you have to let it dry. It'll overnight for sure, it'll be dry there, but it doesn't have that instantaneous glue that the hot glue does. Okay, now here we don't need it. Clean edge. Let's flip it around. Okay, here you do see the excess on it. See the excess sticking out? This one needs trimming. Move it like this. Scrap piece of foam core as a support. There. I did something I shouldn't have done. I went forward, which I told you not to do. This is clean. We don't need to play with this one. This one is clean. This one is clean. Okay, so now all we need to do is revisit our Sharpie technique. Here, because it's glued, I have to use the tip of the Sharpie instead of the side, the way that we usually do. So just be a little bit careful, like you're coloring inside the edges of your coloring book, right? So that you don't go on the decal as much as you can. You'll be staying on the bleed. But see, look at the difference of that. Doesn't that look much better than this side? There we go. Here we just have some cutting, leftover cutting stuff there. There. That's nice and clean. Good. Flip it around. This one needs some here too. Now we are done all the way around. Excellent. So we have all our inner curves now on all sides, and we are ready to apply the decals. Okay, the first pieces we want to put are our feet. In order to do that, we have to carefully trim off the Scotch tape here and peel back this bottom piece for now, okay? So you're going to just trim off the Scotch tape and then just carefully peel this back. Kind of looks like Tron. Okay. Once we remove our bottom base here, what we want to do is we want to take some scissors. We want to cut where the foot stops on each side. If you have scissors that are long enough to go across your shape, your 6 centimeter shape, then you can easily open them really wide, align, and then just trim that off like that. Okay? Do the same on the other side. Align and cut. There. You'll notice that on your decal you have a dark zone and a light zone. This is your folding mark, okay? You're going to want to fold it over where it's dark and light. Fold it and pinch, 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 pinch. Add more and more pinch pressure as you go along. Now take your glue stick and put glue on one of the sides. Okay. It's hard to fit inside the little thing there. And then put it at the base of your feet. Okay. You want the dark side, not the light. The light stays on the inside of the frame. You want the dark piece to go on the outside like this, okay? So this here should align with your back piece, okay? So press that down a little bit. This will fold over so you can pinch the edges here, okay? Make sure this is attached securely, and then you're going to start at the edge here and then work your way up carefully like this. Make sure that it follows the curve of the inside there. This is how your piece fits, okay, at the bottom. If there's a bit of glue that sticks out, the glue stick will dry transparent in the end. You're not going to see that. Take your second sticker, fold it and pinch, 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 pinch. Glue stick inside. In the curve area, most important. Now here at the top and on the sides of your frames there. You could put a little bit here too if you want. Don't press too hard because you'll unglue the curves over here of your frame. Peel that. Align it here like this. Now your fold can go over. Pinch it. And then wrap it. Pinch it here first. And then press it down and to the side. Center out. Like that. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Once you apply your bottom pieces, this is going to decide how you apply the other sides, because what I mean by that, there is the neon strip here, then the door gap, neon strip, and then there's a front little extrusion piece over here. When the two touch, they align. Because if you had this upside down, and then you'd have them join like this, see what you'd get? Examine your footing here and you'll see that this is the space for the neon, this is the door space, this is another neon, and this is your extra gap here. See how that aligns? If you were applying it in the wrong way, you would see that they don't connect. So when you go to apply your sides and your ceiling, make sure that you know how your feet are matching up with the sides, and then identify which one is the top so that when you go to apply it and peel it, it'll be done in the proper way. Having started at the foot, you'd think that doing the side is the next step, but we actually have to do the ceiling first. This piece you want as much in the center as possible, okay? Now this is the wall piece. I was wondering, I'm going like, why is it like cutting so short like that? When you're applying your ceiling piece, make sure you're using the actual ceiling sticker, not the wall sticker. I know they almost look the same, right? But the ceiling sticker has 13 little neons here, and it has a gap on each side, which makes sense because of the way that this one is going to go over the bleed or the excess over here like that. I can't believe I was using this. We want to find and make sure that our ceiling is aligned properly. And there you go, it is. Do you see how that aligns well? If it was upside down, it would not work. Make sure it's in the right direction, the right side, okay? Now we can take this and slowly move it up. Let's see, like move it up to the ceiling like this. Okay, now, where can you see? There. Now it makes sense. Don't you see how this design was working? Now when you center your neons with your front panels here, and then you bend it, okay? You want to align this line just about before the curve starts here, and then the other line should match up with the start of this curve, okay? And this is why there's these excess on the both sides, is that this you can play back and forth like this until you align it nice and perfect. I found the mini, Big Daddy Mini. Okay, so, haha, see, it's a lot easier to fit in between the arch. All the way around. Decals are fun because it really brings your foam core piece to life, and it's like I guess it's kind of like the painting of when you were doing model kits. I used to do my model kits and want to paint after, when in essence you should paint all the pieces first, so when you assemble it you get a nicer paint job, but I was never patient enough to do that as a kid. Make sure you have the proper ceiling piece with the two ends. Now make sure again that you're lining it up properly, which is this way. Yes. Peel your sticker. I have to find the peeling over here. Center it. Align it in the front here. Make sure that it's flush. Make sure that these lines are approximately centered. See how it allows you to jiggle it around? Do you see that? That seems pretty much a nice position. Okay, so I'm going to apply that. Start in the center. Gently press outwards. And then here you want to press in the center and you want it to go zzz, like a ski hill, like that. And then outward. And then outward here. You want to make sure you don't have any bubbles trapped in the corners, because that would be bad. So then we just move that along here like that. Wipe my fingers a little bit against my sweatpants because my fingers were full of glue. Then the same thing here. Just apply from the outside. Curve it up. Outside, curve it up. Out. Like that. You could use your fingernail technique in order to curve your shape along the edge to get a really nice contact blend. Okay, and on the other side, see, it's pretty flush, it's pretty good. Fingernail. Our ceiling's in place. And our feet. So now all we have is to do is place our sides. So it doesn't really matter what side that you're going to be placing, as long as you make sure to follow the pattern. Wrong direction. This is the proper way to put it. Neon, door spacer, other neon, and then the extra front piece there. The ends of your side stickers, like the ceiling, they should start just where the curve starts, and the bottom the same thing. You want to kind of align it where the curve starts over here, and then the lines will blend in with your curves here, and it'll blend in on this end, and it should give you the appearance of one whole sticker wrap like this. A little bit of glue, well, a lot of glue actually on the black part of your foam core, your exposed foam core, all the way across like that. And then a slight amount overlap your front, but I mean your bottom and your ceiling. If you're not printing on sticker sheets, just plain paper, you can skip this step obviously. I can't find my folders. Where's my folding decal thing there? Oh, come on. Oh, the torture. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, no, it was one whole piece. Okay. Put it at an angle like this so that you don't have full contact, okay? Try to align your bleeds on each side to approximately where your curves start on each side, okay? So you want to align it not like this, not like that, kind of in between, okay? Align it flush with here, and the other side should fit perfectly. Press in the center. You want to make sure that your side lines here, vertical lines, align with the vertical lines in your curves there. So you want to play with this a little bit to make sure that it's just right. When the lines match up, that's when you can press down, okay? Start again. Center, gently, move towards the outside, center out, and I'm still pressing very gently to make sure that the lines are aligning. Then I'll put more pressure after. So up to the side, up to the side, up to the side. Oh, it's a perfect match. It's a perfect match. Oh, I love it. This is the first time I'm building this myself, and with the 2020 design, improved on what we did for Celebration. The skin is a bit more movie accurate than what we had. Spin this, other side, same thing, down, left, down, right, down, out, till you match the curve, reach the curve. And now you can put a bit more pressure on it. Like that. Can you see by not putting black Sharpie in between makes the illusion that it's one long sticker here in the center, and that these cutting lines that you had, your cut actually goes through all across here too, but your cutting line, by putting black Sharpie here and black Sharpie here, accentuates the bleed and the thickness of the paper, and it creates the same grooves that you see along over here, so it gives the illusion that it's one long sticker. Do you see that? I love this, it's so cool. This side with the panels, I think I just blasted them. Do you know who said that? Yes, I bet you do. Glue stick the edges, glue stick the center, a little bit where the decal stops on the top and bottom. There we go. Peel the sticker. Ah, this one's easier. It has the folding line there. Good. Or the cutting line. Peel your decal. Like we did before, start by aligning it sideways, and then you will make sure that this line comes approximately to where the curve starts, So this kind of looks pretty much accurate to me. And once that's done, and that it's flush here, put your finger approximately where the control panel is there. Then you can wiggle this toward the sides until you align your verticals perfectly. And I see that they align really well at the bottom there, and at the top they need to be just moved a little bit like that. That seems great. Yeah. Okay, so now I go all the way across, only at the center first, and then up, left, up, right, up, left, up, right, up, left, up, right, just like that. Same thing at the bottom. You're going to go up to the side, up to the side, up the center, to the side, up to the outside, up to the outside, then center curve, and like that. Now you can put some pressure and use your nail technique to curve it. The nail technique, if you haven't seen it in other videos, it basically takes the flat surface of the decal and kind of curves it around so that it makes a nicer blend with the dark edge there that you have. So you're basically moving your nail, because it's a stronger surface than your finger, and you're taking it and pulling it kind of towards you at the same time as you're going down. So you're kind of like moving it forward, spinning, moving it forward, spinning. And this will actually almost give a rounded effect to the decals. You can always redo this here, but we want to do this side. So round like this. We have the skin that goes all the way around now, the insides of your door frame. Okay, so we removed the first base, toss that aside, take the second one that you traced, and this will be the new clean one that you'll apply underneath like this. Just put some glue stick on the sides and at the bottom here. Put some glue stick all the way around the frame and in the front. Carefully place this door frame on the cardboard of the floor. Flip it upside down to make sure it's aligned properly. Grab your Scotch tape again. When it's aligned, you only need one in the center this time, like this. Same thing over here. Align it, then just bend it over. You will take your little strip of DC Fix, which is what I use, or just black glassy vinyl. I can't speak today. My God, Frank. Well, first you could do a dry fit. Make sure it fits perfectly in between, just like that. See? It's always good to put a little bit of glue stick at the bottom. Peel. Just align it in the center there, and then let it fall down into place, and it's just a little offset. So see, with the glue, see, because I put glue stick, I was able to peel it off easily. I want to align it perfectly. Just right, come on. There. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, it moved. Damn you, you little vinyl. Okay, oh, no, now I need to curve it just a little bit more. The perfectionist in me. Okay, a little bit more, come on. Turn, turn, turn. You're probably seeing black on black and not even noticing what I'm doing, even though I'm zoomed in. Oh, no, I don't want that. That didn't work out. Come on, this can't be that hard. Now align, and then carefully place it along the bottom like this, and then press down. If you have some DC fix or some vinyl sticking out here. Cut off that excess over here. Just go slowly so that you don't cut the floor. Do you see that? That's what I trimmed off. Okay, we're almost done. We have all the inside of the frames. The floor, glossy floor is in place. Now, I will admit for my OCD friends, if you want to be 100% movie accurate, okay, I noticed that my panels here, okay, they're upside down. So they should have been facing this way. If you look at the movie, they're this position, not this position. If you're using the A style, you'll notice that the sticker sheet like this, the excess has to be on this end. So when you go to place your feet first, just make sure that this will match up with the bottom instead of starting this. So actually, see, it says door frame right, door frame left, so I should have followed my own instructions. When you go to use your sheets, your decal sheets, make sure that you follow my instructions, unlike me that just cut the pieces and didn't identify them properly, which made me glue this little panel here upside down. Ooh, my OCD. But it still looks cool. If you don't really care 100% movie accuracy, it still looks really neat. You wouldn't even know the difference because it's so small. But it is supposed to be in this direction. So just so you know. Okay, I've been examining this for the last 5 minutes and my OCD is just driving me nuts. So this is how the door is supposed to be. And this is how I glued it upside down. So I trimmed another decal here and I'm going to overlap it and have it placed the way it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to peel this and carefully, oh no, not, okay, the shadow is at the bottom. Okay, guys, don't do the same thing twice. Here's the panel the way it's supposed to be. And then when it's upside down, the shadow is at the top and it just looks weird. So that's why I just have to have it this way. See, this is the correct one with the highlight at the top and the shadow at the bottom. And then this one, see how the shadow was at the top? It just looked weird. Ta-da! I can now live with my OCD corrected. Okay, so now the only part left to do is the actual door. Now, when doing your door, you have different options. You could have a full door closed, which I'll show you first. Then you could have the door open, which is just a small tip popping out at the top. And I have a gag version of the door dimension where the stormtrooper hits his head. You know what I'm talking about. So 3 versions that we're going to play with. So the first thing I want to do is remember those shapes I told you not to throw away? Well, find the one that was for your frame. This one doesn't seem to fit, which means that this is probably the one that fits exactly inside. And it does. We want to place the sticker of the door onto this shape, and then we will be able to show you what it looks like if you want to have a full closed door effect. Put glue stick all over this, peel your door. You're going to want to align it in the center and with your outside curves there as much as possible. So you're going to be wiggling this around until you find the proper shape there. Mr. Stormtrooper is watching us. You could use a light to see if the pattern is matching up. So you want to sort of like play around with that. When you're happy with the position, just press it down. Trim along the edges. Here. Cut the straight lines first, it's much easier. So curve, cut my decal, curve over here. You have your door cut out. Now use your nail technique just to rub the sides a little bit so that it's not, you know, you're going to hide a little bit of that cut edge there. Okay. And actually what we can do is this little edge here that sticks out like that, I think I'm going to use the ruler and I'm just going to trim that off. You don't want any white showing again, so we're going to just do the Sharpie technique on the edges just to blend the edges more with the foam core. You can even go like this if you want to make the rounded corners a bit more round. Move it around like this, rocking back and forth. Okay, so if you're doing a full door, you're just going to make sure that you place it at an angle first, okay? And you're going to pop it in like this inside, okay? And you're just going to keep moving it until it reaches your guidelines there where the door's supposed to be closed, like this, all the way around. This side is good, this side is good. The door is aligned here in this groove and it goes all the way around perfectly as it should be. Because you don't have the double thickness, you can see here that the door should be reaching this line over here. And because it's only one side, it doesn't look nice on this side. That's why if you're seeing it on both sides, then you would want to do a double thickness effect, and you would want to trim it at the height that you want to do it, or have it double exposed. This is the way to make it movie accurate, following the lines like this. Your Death Star hallway basic door is now complete. All you have to do is add it to your diorama. Now if you want it open, normal, like when the Luke and Ben and everyone come into the room and then it goes like this, normally there's just this little part sticking out over here. So you would only be seeing this much sticking out, which means that you would just cut over here for the normal door, cut along here for the joke door, or leave it full for the closed door. Now if you're using the joke or the open door, you're going to need to use the other side because the actual door thickness is 2 pieces of foam core. So if you want to do the Stormtrooper gag where he hits his head, you have to do about 3.5 centimeters, okay, which is approximately where this line comes in. So for the Joke Trooper, we're going to cut along this line over here. Put some, oh, I'm opening the glue stick with the cap on. That's not very smart. Okay, so you're going to want to apply some of the glue stick onto your second frame here. Oh my god. Okay, can you tell I'm filming this at 3 in the morning? Okay, peel this and align this. I'm putting it to the light to see if it's aligned properly. I'm going to wiggle this. Trim the sides. Pointy X-Acto. Turn around the corners. On the other side, I'm going to do just a clean cut here. Now we have the bottom of the door here, which is at the height that we have to place it. Take our pencil and we have to trace the insides of where the frame actually spins, because it's going to be placed on the ceiling to give the illusion that it's popping out of it. So I have my guides there. So what I'm going to do first is I am now going to trim off the side here. Now you're going to want to stack two pieces of foam core on top of each other in order to get the proper door thickness. The piece that we cut, we will now take the first top layer, we're going to glue it on top of this piece that we just cut. So put just a little bit of hot glue, enough for it to stick together in the center. Try not to put it on the sides, because then when you're cutting the two thicknesses it'll be a bit more complicated. Now you're going to place it on your second piece here, and then in order to get it as flat as you can, move your foam core around like this, which squishes the hot glue. Rotate it until you align it at the bottom. Cut along your edges so that the two match as close as possible. I'm using my pen first for the corners. Here is where I trace the shape with my pencil to fit on top of the door, so I'm going to cut that now, and I will try to use this same pencil and just do multiple passes there. So I'm going to start here and then carefully curve my way around and try to stay at a 90 degree. Try not to angle like that. Now, because of the double thickness, it's going to take more than one pass. Okay, I passed the first one, and I want to cut this on the edges there. There we go. And now I want to do this side. So, cut and then curve. Okay, so now I have my double thick piece. Like, it looks weird now. It looks like almost like a Super Mario pill or something. But this is the shape of the door that'll give you the illusion that it's open. Because we traced here the shape from the frame, it should technically fit exactly inside to give us what we want to see. If you're doing the Stormtrooper joke trick with an open thick door, you're going to want to trim out these door thickness skins, okay? This is for two doors, you only need one. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut along the bleed area over here. So align your bleed, cut it just a little bit, don't go all the way through yet, because you want to spin this on the other side. Align this now. Now we can trim off the sides here that we want to cut over. You could use scissors too if you prefer, but when you're doing straight lines like this, it's better with a ruler and an X-Acto knife. Now we have our thickness skin that will wrap around and give us the illusion that the door is the same material. Around the edge of your decal here as well. take the decal top that you removed when creating the bottom one, and then you're going to use it on the other side. When you're going to be applying your decal here, just make sure that the V is at the same position as the V and not this way. So it'll be a mirror of itself like that. We can actually start by trimming the bottom here, which is the section that we sliced off there. Put some glue stick here, align this, rub it down, cut off the excess. Oh, actually, I glued it. I forgot to peel. Oh, I'm so silly. Peel your sticker. Sharpie edges all the way around. Try to let your glue stick glue before doing this step. Your pen will last longer. Okay, we can use our nail technique to go around. Glue stick all the way around. Okay, like that. Peel your sticker. You're going to align the two lines with the bottom of your door. Dark line is this side, so I will align it like this. See how your glue stick allows you to slide the decal? So I want to first align these two lines with the lines that we see here. Now from the center you just wrap it all the way around. Be careful, your finger's probably full of glue now like mine. So just wrap the skin around the door to the top. And this all the way around here. Nail technique to go around both sides. There. So we have our door thickness. This is your guide of where you're going to be placing the thickness, okay, of your 1 centimeter, just like this. And in order to keep it secure, what you're going to do is you're just going to take 1 drop of hot glue, or actually you could put just 2 small glues there. So you're just going to apply it centered in between, like that. Just keep it pressed a little bit. Our stormtrooper doesn't quite fit underneath, but if you put it on the other side, bonk! He hits his head just like in the movie. So if you want to recreate that funny Easter egg, this is the door that you use in order to do that. Thanks for watching DioramaWorkshop.com. If you want more interactivity, you can follow us on these multimedia platforms. If you have a question about past or future Star Wars Celebration workshops, send me an email at dioramaworkshop.com@gmail.com. If you have a Facebook account, join the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders fan club today. If you like the video, please subscribe, share, and tell your friends to come check us out. If you want to see even more Star Wars Celebration crew coverage, click on the link to warp to dioramaworkshop.com, the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders website.